didn't think I'd ever do it, but it is time to say goodbye to an old friend. Yep, the VTX 1300, 2004, bought it brand new, kept it in absolute mint condition like the day I bought it. And it's time to go ahead and trade in for something else. What else am I getting? You'll just have to wait for that one. I will show you when I have the new bike sitting in the garage what the replacement's going to be. It's been great. It's been a good bike. It's been reliable. It's been a lot of fun. But I'm ready to move on to something different. Whoever gets this bike is going to have a bike that's practically brand new. Even though it has about 30,000 miles on it, this bike's with even a third of this mileage that don't even look as good as this one. It's all chromed out with every accessory. So anyway, it is time to move on. The VMAX, that'll die with me. That's never going anywhere. But the VTX, it's definitely time to move on to something else. Next time I go ahead and change over the frame here and you actually see a different bike in the garage, then we'll talk about that one. Here it is. This is the replacement right here. 2023 Vulcan Voyager 1700 full bagger, full dresser. This thing's a beast. It's over 800 pounds. But with 1700 cc's, roughly 104 cubic inches, it's plenty of power to get this bike where it needs to go. I just wanted something more comfortable for long distance touring, and it was time to basically move up from the VTX, which I loved for almost 20 years. But this is the new bike here. It's funny, it's kind of heavy when you first get on it, but you know, once you get rolling, it's actually really nimble. Has all kinds of neat stuff in it too. You get a full cruise control, which is really nice. Over here you have the controls for the radio, which actually sits right in here. I'll turn that on in a bit. And you get the gauges. It's a nice mix of retro and some of the more modern stuff gears. It just kind of gives you everything. So I'll go ahead and turn that on and let you see the little kind of pre-warm-up it does as soon as you put the key in. Even the key is kind of neat. The key is shaped like a little gas tank. I thought that was really neat. So unlike my VTX, I had to buy all this chrome cover stuff, all this chrome accents to hide everything. This bike pretty much comes with everything. So there's really nothing I need to do, which is nice. Even the grips are actually comfortable and everything. The only thing I ordered was just some grips to go over these to make these look just a little bit more comfortable. I do that on pretty much every bike. So if you watch the gauge as I turn the key on, that's what it does. And to start it, down here you go from off to accessory to on, and then you can go ahead and just take the key out if you want to, which is nice. To shut it off, you can just turn this, shut it off, but to turn it back on, you need the key for that. So we'll do that just so I can go to accessory. And like I said, it does have a radio, which is nice.
Sliders.
Yeah.
And of course, every time you turn the radio on,
Yeah, I would go to that.
over here in this country, all you get is freaking commercials, right? More talk, less music. So that seems to be all you get. But it's nice. I adjusted the bass and the treble and all that stuff. I'm not one to ride around with the radio on. I like to listen to the cadence and the rhythm and the sounds coming out of the engine and the road. But if you're pulled off to the side just having some coffee or something like that, you know, that's when it's kind of nice if you want to turn the radio on. It's something I probably won't use that much, but it is nice to know what's in there. And they did give it kind of a retro style except for the screen. The bike is pretty nice. The first time in my life on a motorcycle I've ever had a fuel gauge and everything. So there's all kinds of ECU mods that they do for this. Right now I'm just really digging the fact that it's new and it's got plenty of power, and we'll see. Even the pipes, my other pipes were kind of loud, a little bit too loud, especially when you got the highway speeds. This one here, it's got a nice sound when it's at idle, and when you give it the throttle, it gets louder, but it's not like obnoxious loud. I'm kind of liking that right now. I used to get kind of fatigued on long runs with my other bike with the pipes being so loud. And one of the things the other bike didn't have, the VTX, it only had 5 speeds. So when you get up to highway speed, you know, I'm talking 70 or 80, it was just screaming and the noise was just ridiculous. This one here, there it is, that's a 6-speed. So you get up to 60 on this and then you put it into 6th and it knocks the RPMs right down to 2,000 and it's really comfortable, man. It's nice and quiet. It's just really relaxing to take for a ride instead of, you know, what the VTX gave me and stuff, which I loved. I loved my bike, I really did. But it was just time to move up to something else. So let me go ahead and get this, go ahead and start it so you can hear it. Let me just open up the doors. Another thing I never had was fuel injection. So I used to always, like even the VMAX is carbureted, you know, you got to mess with the choke and all that. And it wasn't a choke on the VTX, it was an enrichener. It would actually just add more fuel. And but I had to do it every time I started it. It was just one of those things you got used to over time. But this one here, and again, we get average miles per gallon and time. I've got a whole 57 miles on this. Even on the left is a fuel gauge and stuff, which is kind of nice. So let me go ahead and give it a start. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. Again, I know it's a big heavy bagger, but I was kind of ready at this point in my life to get something like this where I could just jump on the road, head west until the water turns blue, and be able to just pack it up as is. Some of the things I have, I've got these big old compartments here, you know, in the saddlebags, which are nice. And I should be getting in the next couple of days the inserts, the liners. They have handles, zippers, and all that stuff. So you could basically take the liners and fill them up with luggage and all that stuff, along with this top trunk here, which is kind of cool. This will actually hold two full-face helmets. So that's kind of cavernous and stuff in there, and of course another bag. So I could basically just load this thing up with most of the stuff internally, of course, unless I was going to do some camping or something, and then I'd probably get the little luggage rack that goes on top of here, and then I could actually do a tent and some stuff like that. But just for overnighting, man, it's just nice. I'll be able to finally just put everything in the bags and not worrying about having to carry stuff externally on a luggage rack. Down here is kind of cool too, these little panniers. This is to let the air in. If it's winter and it's cold, you can shut those. You can adjust them. And of course you want to shut them if you have, you know, the rain and stuff like that. That'll help keep it off. This was just for the driving lights up front. It's really well thought out, man. Kawasaki put a lot of craftsmanship, and this is thousands less than the competition, and they're still being able to put it out at this price. There's even a little dampening wheel in here. And then, of course, an air shock thing you can actually hook up, like a little compressor and stuff to this if you want to raise and lower the back of the bike depending on the load. And the only thing about this bike that puts me off, but there's nothing I can do, is the fact that it's belt drive. I just hate belts. Just because, you know, if you don't like somebody, you just get in there with a knife and give that a slit on the side of the road. You know, if somebody has ill intentions towards you, you can basically get stranded on the road with that belt cut. And I don't like chains because they stretch. I'm really a shaft drive guy, just because they're so freaking easy to maintain and they're indestructible. But I'll have to get used to it, that's all. So the only problem is with a shaft drive, every time it makes a 90-degree turn, you lose about 10 horsepower. At least with this, you know, it's not making any 90-degree turns. So you have the engine turning, and then it has to make a 90 to head back. and then it's going back. It needs to make a turn to hit there, so this 290 is there. So there's about 20 horsepower eaten up, roughly. Don't hold me to those numbers, but you do lose horsepower. It's kind of like in your car. Your engine has a lot of horsepower, but rear wheel is different because it makes all the turns and goes through the differential and everything else. But this one here, I'm guessing they did that because they do have shafts on some of their bikes to keep the horsepower and all that stuff up. And like I said, I've taken it out. I love it. The one thing I will do, I'll get this up on a lift, and I might even film that, but I'll get it up on a lift and I'll go ahead and coat the belt with 303, top and bottom, then let that dry, wipe off excess and stuff like that. It should get that belt to last at least like 100,000 miles. But we'll see. You know, we'll see what the deal is. I've never had one before. So anyway, that's it, guys. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get this on the YouTube, let you have a look, and you can tell me what you think. Did I make a good decision, bad decision? Would you have done it? A lot of guys don't like baggers, so they're going to say, no, I would have never done it, which is cool. That's all good. But I have a lot of my friends already telling me, well, what about when you want to ride, you know, without the fairing and all that stuff? Well, duh. That's what I get the VMAX for. I can still get on this two-wheeled fighter jet and do my thing. And yet I still have bags in the back too. So that's why I need two bikes, because they give me two different rides. But at least for long rides, this thing will just be wonderful. Anyway, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification for future content. I'll get this on YouTube just as quickly as I can.